As you travel around the world, you learn a lot of stuff in regards to filmmaking and photography, because all the stuff I'm about to cover, it covers photography as well. So please, photographers, enjoy this video as well. But from my journeys around the world, capturing travel footage and stock footage, these are the things I determine as the 10 must-knows for travel filmmaking. I'll get right into it. Number 1, don't expect people to stay out of your shot when you're filming. I know it seems like common courtesy if you see a person taking a photograph or a video that to you it may, you would immediately think to just, hey, let me wait until this person's finished doing whatever they're doing. But that's not the case with video. With video, when people see that you have a camera or just anything in general that looks like it's going to go on social media, they tend to try and jump into your shot. I don't think it's to be obnoxious. I think it's more so that they want to have something to be able to show to their friends, like, hey, look, I was in this video, like in the news reports where the people are like waving in the background, like, hey, how you doing? While the reporter's trying to give it a thing. Expect the same thing to happen to you while you're in film. Sometimes it's not as flamboyant. Sometimes it's a little more under the table, where a person may strategically put themselves in your shot. And if it doesn't bother your shot, then by all means, go ahead and capture the shot. But if you are doing something like stock footage, then that would require you to do release for that person's image. So, it's just try and find a nice way to, let the person know that you're filming, or just wait till the person leaves and, capture your shot then. Either way, you got to get the shot and do what you need to do. Number 2, find public restaurants to use the bathroom. No matter what type of filmmaking you're doing, this is always gonna happen. It's happened to me on every single one of my journeys, where you're just shooting and you're like, hey, I'm just having fun out here by myself in the wilderness or wherever, or in the city, and then the urge comes. In the wilderness, as a male, you could just use the bathroom. But since I have female audience as well, I keep it general. If you're in a place with a lot of people and you have to find, you have the urge to use the bathroom. So you're gonna notice that in a lot of these spots, they're gonna want to charge you to use the bathroom. So the way to get around that is, I found, by going to restaurants that like for instance, McDonald's, Burger King's, or whatever, they will always have a public restroom that you can use for free. So that way, you save $1 or $2 versus going into this one place and paying to use the bathroom I don't know how many times. So that's just one thing to keep in the back of your mind. Always find a public restaurant, a well-known restaurant, let me specify, to use the bathroom, and you should be able to use it there for free. Number 3, avoid paying high tourist prices. Now, what you mean when you say that, Jamal? Let me explain. So, for example, if you go to Disney World, and I know some of you guys have been to Disney World, and I haven't yet to go, but I digress. If you go to a place like Disney World and you go there to buy food, you're gonna find yourself paying like really high prices for the food. And you're wondering, how is a person supposed to stay here? Because these prices are so high. So look at it as the same way in travel filmmaking or photography. If you go to these tourist areas where there are a lot of tourists, the prices are going to be very high. But if you go a few streets over, then the prices are normal. And this is the prices that the locals pay. How did I find this out? From speaking to locals. Always try and speak to the locals wherever you are. They have great pointers, great tips. Well, in this instance, it'll save you a lot of money. So avoid paying those tourist prices and go a few streets over and get the normal price if you're able to. Number 4, wear your company logo on your backpack, like a Velcro patch or something. So I found out that when I didn't have my patch on my backpack, a lot of people would always come and interrupt my shot or whatever I'm doing, asking, like, hey, what are you doing? And they're genuinely interested, which is a good thing, and you can tell them about your company and stuff. But after 30, 40 interruptions, then, it kind of gets a little, old, especially if you're trying to get your shot in before a certain time passes. So what I found is when you put a Velcro patch on your backpack with your company on it, and then, just for a little pizzazz, put like, subscribe to my YouTube channel as a second Velcro patch underneath, or whatever platform you're on. And what you're gonna find out is a lot of people won't approach you. You're gonna notice a lot of people are gonna immediately see your backpack, and they're gonna take a picture of it, and they're gonna look you up while you're doing your shoot there. And after you finish, then they come up and ask you like, hey, I checked out your channel, I subscribed, or whatever, and they talk to you then after your shoot is done. So it's just this is just a tip that I found that can help you not only get your shot in a peaceful way without people bothering you, but also help you get new subscribers and network more, because you never know who's going to be out there while you're filming. In fact, I met a lot of my contacts when I've been out traveling and filming in places where I would least expect to find them. So yeah, that's a big nugget of advice. So please do that. It'll only help you. Number 5, leave your valuables at home or in the hotel you're staying in. Now, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. Everybody's gonna be like, all right, Jamal, I'm not leaving all my stuff there in this hotel, but hear me out. So when you leave your stuff at this hotel, what it does is, and I've secured, what it does is if you get pickpocketed, and I don't want this to happen to any of you, if you get pickpocketed, then the people you can only lose what you have taken with you. Usually I would bring one debit card with me and one ID, and I would leave everything else back in a safe place and hide it. If you don't have a safe place to hide it in your hotel room, then put it in your luggage. Usually the Velcro or the lining of your luggage has a zipper, and you can zip it down, put something underneath it, and zip it back up. That's one way to do it. But I'm sure you guys can be creative. But the point is, leave your stuff in the room. And plus, the bigger your pockets look while you're walking around, and if it's obvious you're a tourist wherever you are, then you're more likely to get targeted by these so-called people who are looking to make a quick buck. So don't make it easy for them, and leave the very expensive stuff back if you don't have to bring it. It's better to lose one card if you get pickpocketed than 8. So it's just one thing to, keep up there for your travels and your journeys. Number 6, decline all room service. Now, this is along the same vein, and I know a lot of you guys are going to really freak out on this one. So I'll explain as best as I can. Right. So this applies specifically for those hotels that have signs that say, we are not responsible if stuff gets stolen out of your room. Those type places where if money turns up missing, they're like, hey, it's not our fault. We ain't got nothing to do with it. You saw the sign. These kind of places are what I'm talking about. Decline room service there. And yes, I know the room may start getting a little, smelling like you're, a little strong smelling. I just leave it at that. And, some of you guys smell a little worse than others after longer periods of times, and I also leave that alone. But what I'm saying is, when you decline the room service, it's better to have peace of mind knowing that while you're out shooting or taking your pictures, that nobody is coming in your room and getting sticky fingers with your expensive equipment or travel documents that you may have left behind. Also, before you get too freaked out about the decline in room service part, what I've also found out when I do this at hotels and I decline the service, I could just go to the front desk and ask if I'm out of toilet paper or towels or anything like that. And usually the receptionist or the person that's there, they're more than happy to assist you in what you need. And yeah, So that way it works out for the best for everybody. You just have to deal with the smell of being in a room, an unclean room for whatever period of, time that your trip may take. And additionally, don't find yourself in a situation to where you have missing equipment and you have to start filing all these claims to try and get compensated, and insurance companies start doing a two-step on you, and everybody's just deny, and you're the only one who's out of something important. Just don't find yourself in that situation. Avoid it completely if you can. Number 7, ask locals for the best spots wherever you're going to shoot. Now, I say this because there are spots that only the locals know, which are gorgeous and are not on the map. There are spots, the touristy spots where everybody's going to be at, but usually these spots where the locals take you, not too many people know about them, and you get gorgeous shots. So if you get there to the spot and it's a spot that somebody else has already captured, then no biggie. You could just capture it as well, but capture it in a different way that makes it stand out from how the other person may have captured it. But if you get to a spot and you find that nobody's captured it, you just stepped into a gold mine when it comes into filming, like, rare and unique places or photography, so you can't lose on that one. Just ask the locals. They're going to steer you right. They're going to, I'm assuming, people are good at face value, but you got to use common sense. If the local is one of those strange types and he's telling you to go somewhere in these woods or thickets or whatever, and you're getting all kinds of butterflies or whatever, or you're getting all kinds of funny feelings, just don't do that. Okay, I'm not asking you to risk your safety. What I'm asking is, if you talk to some locals, get to know them, and if they seem like good people and they wouldn't steer you in a bad direction, then, take it on a whim. Do your diligence, think about what they've told you, and then pursue it if you think it's worth the risk or the reward. So yeah, don't forget to ask the locals where are the best spots, and you can't go wrong there. Number 8, non-scented deodorant. Why do you say that? Now, this is mostly for the nature shooters. So I'll put it this way. No one will love you better than the insects and bugs in the woods if you show up smelling like butterscotch honey. Yeah. Go non-scented whenever you can. You'll be happy that you did. Or else the mosquitoes and other wildlife will be happy that you didn't. Number 9, bring plenty of batteries. I can't say this enough. Unfortunately, I have experienced this to where I've spent hours upon hours getting to a location just to get there and see that my battery's halfway dead and I didn't bring as many as I needed to, thus causing me to shorten the shoot and be very selective as to what shots that I captured in that location. Don't do that. Bring plenty of batteries. And while we're on that note, bring plenty of memory cards, because what good is it having all the batteries if you don't have memory cards to record the footage on? So I've had this event happen to me in Santorini, to where I was filming on one of the cameras and one of the cards went out on me. And I didn't have a backup card, so that was the end of my shoot. I either had to format the camera or and lose all the footage, or go back to my room and get the card. So yeah, don't make that mistake. Bring 2 cards always. And trust me, it happens more often than you would believe. And number 10, wake up early. Now, I'll be straightforward with this one. You have to beat the crowds to the spots if you want to get the good shots. I found the sweet spots to be between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. And any other time after that, you have to expect to deal with crowds of all types of people trying to do the same thing that you're doing, trying to get the better shot, trying to fight between each other, waiting in lines to get a shot. And some people take longer than others. Don't find yourself in that situation. Just show up there early to that location where it ain't nobody there, and you'll be happy you did, basically. You'll be able to get your shots free of clutter, free of noise, free of people, and be able to move on to the next one by the time everybody shows up there to try and get that one. So do yourself a favor, wake up early and get those shots in. And I can't reiterate enough. After the 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. time period, expect to find people everywhere. So again, this video is 10 must-knows for travel filmmaking and photography. If you found this video helpful, make sure you drop a comment down below or leave a like. It helps with the video being seen through the YouTube algorithm, and it can reach more people such as yourself who may also need help. And in the future, I'll talk more about how I go to these locations to capture stock footage for those of you that are interested, as a way to make a form of passive income. And yes, I do I do short films, everybody knows that. And I do a lot of Christian content, which is also great. But also in between, I just really like to just go and shoot travel footage, which is what my channel Nomad Day and Nomad Relax is for. Nomad Day, I'm going to all these locations filming ambience shots. And Nomad Relax, I'm walking around, with a camera, and I'm filming the locations and the surroundings and everything there. So, and that basically helps people out who are in hospitals or whatever's going on where they can't travel. Everyone can't travel and they want to. So these videos like this are meant to help them in that area. And I'll also talk more about that later in other videos. But for now, again, drop a like if you like this video, and drop a comment if you want to start a discussion. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good night, but most importantly, stay blessed.